Today I'll explain to you what are the warning signs. The warning signs are the first thing you need to identify before you start using any of the tools. You've seen the timeout video and the 4 hours one. All refer to the warning signs. It really is the basics. The warning signs are what physically happens inside your body when you are angry. It can also happen in your head. Before you explode in anger, before you start being violent, something happens physically inside your body. Since you are impulsive, you react so fast and so strongly that you don't realize there was a physical reaction before your explosion. Your anger gradually went up. It escalated. It didn't happen all at once. This is something you will learn to process in the next weeks. Slowly, you will tame this escalation. Instead of going from green to red in an instant, you will go from green and you'll adopt a yellow zone and then you'll get to the red. This is what the warning signs are. You're a yellow zone. So green, all is good. Yellow, you feel yourself becoming angry, and red, you explode. In your yellow zone, you have your warning signs. These signs are the physical escalation that happen before your violent outburst. Here is a list of examples or choices for warning signs that can happen when you are triggered. Maybe for you, when you are angry, you say, I feel hot, I'm sweaty, I have tightness in my chest, I feel tense, I clench my fists, I clench my jaw, I start to talk louder, my heart beats faster, I think of what I'll say next, I swear or use insults in my head. All of that happens before you blow your gasket. I'll invite you to practice self-observation. Before you even use the timeout and the 4 hours, you start with self-observation. What happens physically or psychologically before you explode? I'll leave this list up and I'd like for you to identify 3 signs that you experience yourself when you get angry. If you have less than 3, or if you don't know or you can't identify the signs and you say that you react too fast from 1 to 10 suddenly, it's okay. That's why you are here with us. I just want you to start thinking about it. If you haven't identified anything, this week it is your homework to self-reflect and find out what happens when you get angry. Here's a simple example. You're at work and your boss comes and tells you to stop talking because you are disturbing the others. So now you start tapping your foot without realizing it. You're focused on the boss that is pissing you off. After a while, she comes back once again. Then your whole leg starts to bounce. After that, you start biting your nails and then you get tense. Your shoulders and your neck tense up. You start cracking your knuckles, cracking your neck. Now she intervenes for the 3rd time. Now I'll ask you to leave the room. You are disrupting the peace. You clench your fists. You get up, throw out your tools. You swear at your boss and tell everyone to fuck off before leaving. This is a good example of escalation. Before you threw out your tools, use insults and gave the finger, something physically happened. Imagine if you were able to identify what happened and used your timeout when you feel these signs coming. It will save you tantrums, insults, and middle fingers. That's what the warning signs are for. It really is the signs that flashes and says, warning, warning, I have to change room or leave the area. It's the sign that tells you to use the first step of the timeout and leave the room. I'd like for you to make a top 3 and tell me which one comes first. For example, my first one, I tap my foot. The second one is, I bounce my leg. The third one is, I get tense. So choose your own 3 and remember your second one because it's the one you noticed. This week, if you've identified your 3 and you know your second one and are able to easily notice it, keep it in your head, and when it happens, leave the room. If you are one of the people that can't identify any of the signs, it's okay, that happens. This week, pay attention to yourself, what's happening. Come back to this video if you had an anger episode, come back to the list and question yourself. So leave the area of conflict if you feel your warning signs coming up, or question yourself to see what happens in your body when you are angry, and we'll talk later.